All right, mic check is done. We have audio. Hello, everybody. Just tuning in. Adam Caskey here in the KSAT 12 Weather Center. On KSAT 12, we've got the Monday Night Football game going. Chiefs 10 and Buccaneers 14 at the moment. We also have non-severe thunderstorms ongoing right now. Some heavy rainfall, some of which is training or following each other like trains, like the cars on a train. So that's causing some very heavy rainfall. Now this is just moving into San Antonio and Bexar County pretty much as we speak. Let me readjust that and go back to the local radar for you. There you go. This is moving into San Antonio as we speak, and it's going to give us a good quick hit of rainfall as it moves through. And already northwest Bexar County and into Kendall County, including Bernie and Bandera, we do have a flash flood warning in effect. That's these green lines that you see here. Within those green lines, that's where we have the flash flood warnings in place at the moment. So just exercise caution if traveling around in the typically flood-prone spots of your neighborhood or your commute or your typical drive to and from the store. Anticipate water. That includes you, Bernie, all the way down just about to Leon Springs, and it does include Fair Oaks Ranch. Okay, so let's talk about the rain, and I want to put this into motion. The heavy rain, this is right along the cold front that's moving into town as we speak, and once the front hits, you're going to start to feel some changes out there. So the storms have slowly been growing on the tail end of the front, which is where we are, and you see the end of the storms is right here in Medina County. Oh, now we're starting to get some development further to the southwest, and near the La Pryor area is where that action is in Zavala County. Anyway, this is the tail end of the cold front, and it's producing some pretty good rainfall. I'm going to move you around the area. We'll talk about how much has fallen, and we'll get into the forecast. But first of all, Comal County, this is just good, steady, soaking, heavy rainfall. And what I mean by heavy rainfall, let's take a look at how hard this is coming down. Look at the rainfall rate, and these purple areas, that's where it's raining the hardest. And this is basically moving over Canyon Lake, but this is the hardest rainfall. And to give you an idea, if it were to keep raining for a whole hour like this, which it won't, but if it did, you'd have 4.5 inches of rain over the span of an hour. Already, radar estimates, let's take a look over the past, couple of hours, about a 1/2 inch, and that, oops, let me go back. That 1/2 inch is in Kendall County there, Comal County. Hold on. This is, all right. And let's keep going. There we go. All right. Okay, there we are. Now we're back. Sorry about that. Aha. Okay, so let's get back to our rainfall totals up here over the past 12 hours. Again, nothing severe. This is just some soaking rain, which will get in the way of any travel on the roadways, absolutely, because it's coming down so hard. But I'm going to take you around sort of county by county, and let's look at the rainfall totals. And it's starting to fill in here in Comal County. Remember, it just started to rain. But the light green indicates a 1/2 inch. The dark green indicates up to 1 inch. And once you're in this yellow, which is in neighboring Kendall County, the yellow is 2 inches or more. So, for example, let's do a little sample. I'll zoom out a little bit, and we'll go to a city. Well, actually, let's just go into northeastern Kendall County. Yellow spot 3.5. We've got a red spot here of 4.7 inches estimated by the Doppler radar. So far in these neighborhoods, that's how much rain has fallen out there. The yellow, of course, and orange being the highest amounts. That's 2 inches or higher, and that's going to continue to fill in. So let's go back to our radar. And I want to point out we don't have any hail threatening, at least no damaging hail within these storms. There was a little bit of hail in parts of the hill country earlier this evening, a few hours ago. That was pretty brief, but now we don't really see anything by way of hail within these storms. Leading edge hitting 1604. This is the construction zone for the expansion of 1604. And that's where the heavy rain is moving in. So the line with basically the individual clusters of storms are moving to the northeast up the line, up the cold front. But as the cold front continues to push southeastward into San Antonio, those moving storms get pushed inward as well. That's the propagation of these storms. So you've got the movement and you have the propagation. So you see how the rain is actually moving from southwest to northeast, but the whole clump of it is moving in a different direction. So I want to time out the different direction of the entire clump of rain. Clump, I'm not getting very technical, I know, but we're gonna just for San Antonio and Bexar County, the main batch of rain, not the individual movement of the showers, but the main batch here. So we're going to get right on the front edge of it because the cold front's moving at about 10 miles an hour. So let's put that right there. And these are the communities that could expect that leading edge of the rain at the given time. Stone Oak, it's pretty much starting, okay? We understand that. SeaWorld, it's just, you're a few minutes away. Johnson High School, a couple minutes away as well. Hill Country Village at 9:34. So we still have a little bit of time, but Hill Country Village, 9:34. Marshall High School at 9:35 and Kentwood Matter at 9:36. Further north, up into Comal County, this is that broken leading edge, and that's headed to the southeast, the main batch of it. The front end of that batch is moving at about 10 miles per hour. So that would mean Oak Hill Estates at 9:40, Copper Ridge at 9:33. I'm going to adjust something on my radar here so I can get different city names and other things to pop up. Excuse me for a sec. I just need to hop back over. While I do that, I'm going to put this in motion over the past hour. And again, within those green boxes that you see, those are the flash flood warnings that are currently in effect due to the quick, heavy rainfall that has hit those areas. Okay, just need to do a few clicks. You can probably hear me clicking. Okay. Already 2 inches in a rain gauge just north of Government Canyon. State natural area. And that was just in 30 minutes. Woo, that's some heavy rainfall. So we're looking at the potential of a flash flood warning in parts of Bexar County here because of this extremely heavy batch of rain, this very heavy batch. And there's a light show. There's definitely a light show. If you've been anywhere outside looking off to the north and west, you've been seeing the lightning in those distant thunderstorms. Now those distant thunderstorms aren't so distant anymore, and they're moving into our neck of the woods. And again, this is just some good soaking rain, but this could quickly give you a couple of inches of rain over the period of 30 to 60 minutes. You could get a couple inches of rain out of this. So this is a good soaker that's going to be a bit of a drought denter and should help the aquifer a little bit. I'm going to get to the aquifer zones and how much rain has fallen over those zones in a moment. First of all, heaviest rain and maybe some pea-size hail right along I-10, Leon Springs, southward, just about to 1604. I'm watching the purple area here within the thunderstorm. The type of activity that I'm seeing right now that's a little more organized along the line typically doesn't produce a whole lot of hail. It's usually the individual cells, the individual thunderstorms that really become problematic when it comes to hail and the individual supercells. This is more of a squall line that's been coming together and developing. So earlier on in its life, before the storms were connected together, that's usually when you'd have the bigger hail threat. So I do think the hail threat has dropped a smidge for us in terms of any damaging hail. Now it's actually gone to more of a potentially flash flooding event. And flash flooding doesn't mean your house is going to flood. It just means that if you're traveling, flood-prone areas are likely to have some standing water, and you need to turn around and don't drive through that deep water, or especially the water of unknown depth. Anyway, I want to show you a different aspect of this with the 3D radar, just because of the basically lack of hail that we have for the most part. And I'm going to redraw this line. This box is what it really is. There we go. And you can look at the line from this 3D view. It's not, looks like a little bit of hail on the tail end also, just south of Castroville, south of Highway 90. Now we go into these storms, and you really see the leading edge of it right along. This is 1604 right here on the northwest side. So you've got Alamo Ranch, you've got SeaWorld. There's SeaWorld about to get hit with the storms moving in. Actually, we could play this over the past 30 minutes. See if that'll play for us. Oh yeah, it will. I'll zoom out. There you go. Pretty cool. You can look along the line. Now we've got north being directly up, just to give you your perspective. And that's that line of thunderstorms. Okay, back to the here and now. And I'll switch it over just to our hail detecting palette here. And the purples, you'll see them suspended. See those little purples? little dots? I'll get rid of that for you. These little purples are potential hailstones way up in the clouds, but clearly not a whole lot. It looks like a little bit falling around Alamo Ranch and SeaWorld, but shouldn't be problematic. If you get any hail, and if you can get outside after it passes and it hasn't melted already, snap a picture of it, or if you can snap it from your doorway looking outward, you could do that as well. UTSA just getting the beginning of it. You saw the light show, especially, if you're at UTSA, you're in, the dorms or even any of the apartments around there, and you've got a nice balcony view off to the north. I guarantee you saw the light show this evening. It started a couple of hours ago. But yeah, a little bit up the newest scan there showing the small hail has decreased around Leon Springs and other little bits of suspended hail. Not problematic. It's just these purple blotches way up in the sky. That's likely to be small hail suspended within the storms. So pretty neat that we can isolate it with this technology and look at it. I'm showing you this because I don't want you to be concerned about the hail potential. Think of this more than anything as some good soaking rain with lightning and thunder, which unfortunately, the lightning is probably going to cause some power outages. It's just the nature of it whenever we get it. Typically, clusters of lightning will strike lines and transformers and knock some power out. So I anticipate some power outages, nothing too widespread. I think the majority of you watching won't have an issue, maybe more than a flicker of power, but there's going to be some outages. We just see them all the time with this. Plus, it's been a while since we've had good widespread soaking rain like this. And the dust and dirt that builds up on the transformers and the lines, once rain hits it, it can create, I don't want to call it an arc, because it's technically not necessarily an arc, but a bit of a jump in the line, and that can knock out power. It's a unique phenomenon we see around here. After a prolonged period without rain, that dust and dirt then comes in contact with a lot of water, and it can create, think of it like a big spark that can knock power out briefly. But CPS is always all over it. Their crews are good, and they get on top of it. Okay, those of you in Canyon Lake, yeah, just hit or miss rain around you. I'm going to put this into motion. That way we can see where it's all going. So the individual clusters of storms moving southwest to northeast. However, the entire batch is slowly pushing southeastward, just crossing over 1604 now on the west side of town, stretching from Stone Oak all the way to Canyon Lake. Bernie, you're starting to get the tail end of it. You've had a lot of rainfall. Bernie, you're getting the tail end. Here comes the front end, if you will, just about in Leon Valley. From SeaWorld to Hollywood Park is basically where we have that front edge right now. So timing that out, let's do this. Let's time out that front end. Let's go down this line. I'm going to try to draw it as exact as possible. I think it's accelerating. We'll give it 13 miles per hour. All right, if you are Leon Valley, you could expect that heavy rain by 9:33. Ingram Park Ball, 9:35 p.m. Churchill High School, so Castle Hills area. At the actual high school, 9:38. Castle Hills at 9:44, and Medical Center around 9:40 as well. I'm going to go back to where we were. This is the big picture showing you the satellite radar over the past 6 hours. But what's important for us here is this tail end activity that's now stretching southwestward into Zavala County. Quick look at different radar sites. We get a better look at this. And not far from La Pryor. This is northern part of the county along Highway 57. There's some heavy rainfall, but nothing severe. That's the nice thing about this. We don't have anything severe. And if I look a little scruffier than usual, it's because I'm doing No Shave November. Doing it for Spreester this year. I typically don't look good with that, but I don't care right now how I look. Anyway, let's move on with this. Yeah, but No Shave November for, we got a new we've got a new flash flood warning right here. And that's for a good chunk of Bexar County, northwestern Bexar County, until 12:30 a.m. because of the very heavy rainfall. And when you look at the rainfall rates, how hard the rain is falling, woof, these purples, that's that really, really heavy rainfall. From Camp Bullis, roughly, that's about Camp Bullis here. Camp Bullis, you're looking at 7 inches an hour. You get toward Gray Forest, 6.6 inches an hour. So that's, if it were to rain for a full hour, that's how much rain you would get. I mean, that's how hard it's coming down. On top of that, for the accumulation so far, and this is a little delayed because it's still raining in these spots, but you look at the overall accumulation so far, and really the sweet spot for drought denting rain has been Kendall County into Blanco County. This is where we have these little red spots of 4 inches or more estimated by Doppler radar. And actually, I think a lot of that has been confirmed with area rain gauges in those spots, the rain gauges there. But let's look in and around Bernie, for example. Bernie down to Lake Hills, okay? Along Highway 46, Bernie to Lake Hills. We can get right down into downtown Bernie if we want. By the way, my favorite Christmas parade in downtown Bernie. You just can't beat it. I'm gonna try to, I think I can make it this year. Yeah, it's always such a good time. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Bernie, I love you, and I love your Christmas parade. 2.8 inches, parts of downtown, right along Main Street, 2.5. You get along the river, 3 inches. Champion, let's give you an idea. Champion High School, 2.7. And it's still raining in these areas. You're starting to get on the backside of it, but it is still raining. Then we come down into eastern Bandera County. Let's go around Pipe Creek. We'll go where it's labeled at 2 inches, but where 46 and 16 come together, it's 2.6 inches. And then out here in the rural area, 4.1 inches. And a lot of it's rural area, I understand that. And then we go down to Lake Hills at Medina Lake Reservoir, and keep in mind it's still raining, but we have 2.8, over 2 inches of rainfall. So these are the rainfall estimates. Now this is going to continue to spread to the southeast, and we'll see those rainfall numbers continue to tally up and get quite a bit higher. So as I mentioned before, Bernie, you're starting to get on the tail end of the activity, and as is so often the case with these lines of storms that develop, they often start to accelerate a little faster than originally predicted. So I want to go back to our updated rain chances here. I gotta stop that. Okay, hold on, hit now. There we go. Okay, I don't know why that's not working for me. I'm gonna have to go back to that, hopefully. It should be working, but it's not working. So we'll get around to that a different time. Anyway, I can get to some of that later on. Come on, clear, buddy. All right, I gotta walk. Wrong button again. Let's go. There we go. Here we are. Okay. And notice especially this cluster of lightning around Castroville on the tail end. This is a new newer part tail end of the storm that's a little bit stronger than everything else. And there's a little bit of hail in and around here. I think a little bit of hail in and around Castroville. Right now, probably not damaging size. Oh, I stand corrected with this new part. Look at this. This yellow, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. So this caught my eye. This cluster of lightning really caught my eye. I mean, you just look at that cluster and you see the cloud to ground strike stretching out ahead of that thunderstorm. This could have 1 inch in diameter hail in and around Castroville, which would make sense on the tail end of it, opposed to being embedded way up within here. This is where we're seeing the development and the new development. And within this, we have a new severe thunderstorm. I'm going to pull this out. It's the yellow box, and I know these boxes are kind of on top of each other, but this is for eastern Medina County and parts of western Bexar County until 10:15. Okay, this is until 10:15, this new severe thunderstorm warning, and I can actually outline it for you in blue as well. Woo! This whole area, I guess it didn't work as well. Anyway, that whole area, that's the new severe thunderstorm warning. And I do think that actually could have a little bit of hail associated with it, with the most recent scans. Yeah, about 1 inch diameter hail is the possibility there. That's the primary threat within this tail end of the line here that just had the most recent development and the quick pop of convection, the quick explosion of convection in the atmosphere. So that's this area, the hail within there. I would venture to say that hail could make it to SeaWorld by about 10 p.m. Wouldn't surprise me if that bit of hail makes it to SeaWorld by 10 p.m. I think that's the general trajectory and speed of where it's going. We'll turn these arrows on for a sec. All right, it looks like it's a little bit old of an arrow, but Rio Medina 944. So Rio Medina, you could have that hail about 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter by 944. Okay, this is the only part of the storm that has a bit of hail, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's just a quick burst of hail within it, not necessarily long lasting. And sometimes on these tail ends, we have to watch out for subtle circulations as well. But that's the most electrified part of the storm, and it's no coincidence that it's also the strongest part of the storm at the moment. So that's moving from Castroville into far west Bexar County. I'm going to turn off the lightning because it's a little distracting. I'm going to turn off the warnings as well. Just have pure radar, good old-fashioned radar scope going here. And it's this purple area around Castroville. We can go all the way in, take you into Castroville and western Bexar County. It's along Highway 90. Could be about quarter-size hail. So the size of a quarter, which is 1 inch in diameter. And that's pushing off to the northeast. There is this arrow again, and that's moving to the northeast at 18 miles per hour. So I timed that out to be around SeaWorld at 10 p.m. because of that forward speed, which I already have preset to about 20 miles per hour, because that's what I've been seeing so far today. So that's that little cluster of hail, and I want to get another look at it with our 3D scope. I think it helps a little better to just isolate it. We'll move this a little farther south. Boom, 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 and boom, and boom. Okay. So big view. Small view, we're zooming in, and this part just popped up in Castroville, right where we've had the most recent development of the thunderstorm, and that's this bit of hail that we're looking at suspended. This came quickly out of nowhere. That really popped up fast. But elsewhere around San Antonio, we don't have this issue right now, okay? We're just looking at this one hail core that's around Castroville, and that one hail core, okay, that is right there. Assuming it could actually maintain itself, which is a big assumption, that would make it to Gray Forest by 10:34 p.m., okay? Taft High School by 10:07 p.m. Again, big assumption, but But assuming that hail core could hold together, Taft High School, 10:07, that's basically Alamo Ranch, Gray Forest at 10:34 p.m. is when that bit of potentially damaging hail could make it there. But now you see that's really all we have on this line, and it's no coincidence that it's on the tail end where we just had more recent development. And that could be the case going forward over the next few hours farther to the southwest of San Antonio where we have that new development. It's not as organized. Then you can have a little bit of that hail. But up here where it's more put together, this action, this is all just heavy soaking rainfall. Heavy soaking rain on the north side of town. Now just moving into the Leon Valley, hitting SeaWorld, Hollywood Park. You're starting to see the beginning of it as well. We zoom out and there's the hail around Castroville, and that's headed toward Bexar County. So that's what we're watching. Looks like we just got a new scan. See how organized this is. Get right in here, right inside this hail core. All right, so now we're going to move around it so you can see the three dimension to it. Where we are, it's San Antonio's over here, okay? San Antonio's boop, 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 right there. And this is the hail flying right down through it. County Road 476. This is Highway 90, just on the eastern side of Castroville. Highway 90 right here. And it's moving to the northeast. So those of you along 1957 Lambda Drive here in far western Bexar County, that would be you up next for some of that hail, okay? Because of the way it's going. Lambda Drive, FM 1957, and that's this batch of hail that just popped up within here. Though elsewhere in San Antonio, we don't have the hail problem around here right now, okay? It's looking good. Even those little bits of suspended hail, they've pretty much disappeared with the exception of a few right there near Timberwood Park. So I'm gonna go back to the regular radar, and actually, you know, we're gonna keep this hail up. So assuming it stays on track, that would make it to, when we talked about Gray Forest and everything, that'd make it to Highway 16, Gray Forest, about Gray Forest, almost at 1022. That'd be roughly 1022. Anyway, that's that little bit of hail. So now we're going to go back to regular radar, back to regular programming, and the amount of lightning and the warnings that we have all over, clusters of flash flood warnings and the one severe thunderstorm warning. And let's give you 30 minutes of movement. So see how the lightning is really kind of fallen apart over the past 30 minutes? There's not as many lightning strikes in northern Bexar County and northern San Antonio, opposed to right down here around Castroville. This is the part of the storm that just pulsed up to generate some of that hail. Farther to the north, not as many little hail spikes there. Hail spikes, lightning, these little lightning whiskers, these white lines indicating the cloud to ground hail. I mean, lightning, cloud to ground lightning. My goodness. Okay, here's our rainfall totals now. These are updated. Again, light green is a ½ inch, dark green is 1 to 2 inches, and yellow is 2 inches or more. So this is really where the heaviest rain has fallen, just outside of Bexar County and in northwest Bexar County. But some of this is on the aquifer recharge zone, and what's moving in is moving into the aquifer recharge zone, which is good. So I do think this will have a small impact on the aquifer level. Usually it takes a little bit of time, a day, sometimes two, to see the full impact, but this should have a little bit of give the aquifer a little bit of a boost. But remember, we're like 38 feet below average for this time of year. I mean, it's a significant number. So it's going to take a lot of this to catch up. But good news is we do have good rain chances again Thursday and also into Friday with our next cold front. We actually have pretty good rain chances those 2 days. Big picture, 1 hour. And zooming in. Check that out. Again, the only severe part of this storm right now is down near Castroville, but that severe chunk is drifting off to the northeast, and it may even be starting to show signs of a little bit of a weakening, but sometimes these elements of the storm can pulse up, cycle down, and then pulse back up again. Oh, we see that a lot, so you don't count it out. And that's why we still have that threat for this thunderstorm, this severe thunderstorm, and the warning until 10:15 p.m. So that's until 10:15 p.m. The threat basically for that hail within western Bexar County, SeaWorld to Leon Valley to Lackland and westward to Castroville. The threat is until 10:15 p.m. The flash flood warnings, they of course last a little bit longer. Back to the leading edge of rain. It's right now in Hollywood Park down to the airport into Leon Valley and SeaWorld. It's headed eastward, and I'm going to put a time on it. So it's headed eastward. So this leading edge, this section, would make it to, let's do this, would make it to Madison High School at 9:47 p.m., would make it to Almost Park at 9:59, Windcrest at 10:06, and at Roosevelt High School at 10:06, about the same time. Monte Vista, 10:06 is when you can expect that leading edge in the Monte Vista neighborhood. Let's go farther up. And the beginning of this main batch of rain as it heads to the east-southeast. Oh, come on. Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. Here we go. I'll attack it from this side. All right, so this leading edge of the heavy rain. Okay, Live Oak at 10:07 p.m. Got some of these that we've already rattled off. Airport City at 10:25 p.m. Out ahead of it, you've got a wind shift moving through Live Oak right now. That's the outflow boundary. Let's come farther south, get you some other areas of when that heavy rain's likely to hit. And let's draw the line here, bring it out, and the propagation of these storms, come on. There we go. All right, propagation of these storms, bringing it to the Alamo at 10:18 p.m. Lackland, 10:12 p.m. is when that heavier rain is going to start, okay? Lackland at 10:12 p.m. Right now, I know there's a bit of a delay from the signal going online and then onto your phone or your computer screen. So as I'm saying this right now, it's 9:38 at the moment. And hitting the Lone Star Brewery at 10, the old one at 10:21, Southtown 10:22, Alamo Dome at 10:24 is when the leading edge of that heavier rain is going to hit. So these are the areas along the path of the heavy rain, and that's because of its general motion. It looks like we've seen the hail kind of for now, again, it can pulse up, but the hail kind of pulsed up, and now it looks like it's having a hard time maintaining itself. That's good to see. So it doesn't look like there's as much hail around here within that southern edge of the thunderstorm. Excuse me. Thank you. I sneeze in threes, so just get ready. We can look at some power outages, and we do have some power outages here in San Antonio, in Bexar County, I should say. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. 300 customers without power. That's the latest estimate that we have. And also in Medina County, there's some similar outages, some small numbers. But like I said, whenever you have a lot of lightning, 100 customers without power, that's when you're going to get some power outages whenever you have a lot of lightning. So that's what we have for the power outages. We'll go to the 1 hour hail. You'll see the development of that hail. And I'm going to turn off the warnings so they don't get in the way. And I'll turn off the lightning. And check this out. There was that hail core that jumped up right around Castroville, right over Castroville. And again, like I said earlier, we had some hail earlier particularly Kendall to Blanco County, but a lot of that, well, that all dissipated. A little bit of hail potentially around Lake Hills earlier, but then that dissipated. And then you see it's where we have the new development. It keeps moving southward along the new development along the line in Castroville. And we'll see if that spreads eastward. I think it's showing signs of the hail core weakening, at least for now. I know they can pulse back up pretty quickly. We've seen that before, but anyway, that's, here we go, lightning and warnings. Well, let's go back up into Comal County. Here's the good rain. How much rain? Well, let's check it out for Canyon Lake. All right, and remember, it's still raining, and this hasn't accounted for all of the rain that has fallen. So let's get on the south end of it here. Boop, boop. 0.7, 0.8 inches, just about an inch right there. Yeah, so it's piling up to an inch. I'd say an easy inch before it comes to an end over Canyon Lake. I know it's at an all-time low, so it's going to take a lot more than that to really remedy this situation, but you got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere. And like I said, we have good rain chances again Thursday and Friday later this week. And let's get right Bulverde, 1863 and 281, 1.5 inches. Leroy Shield Road, whoever Leroy Shield was, on the road named after him, 1.1 inches of rain. These are the radar estimates, but they have really been in line and jiving with the rain gauge reports. But the heaviest amount, and this is a really drought-stricken area, heaviest amount way up here. Speaking of drought, I'd love to show you. I don't see why it's not working for me right now. But anyway, I want to show you the drought monitor. We can get to that another time. But for now, it's all about the rain. That's the individual clusters moving to the northeast, the entire line slowly drifting southeastward. And out ahead of it, you have this outflow boundary as well. So let's go back to the last hour. And I do want to watch for potential hail here, Zavala County into Uvalde County, okay? That's south of Highway 90, but that's the next potential spot, I think, of the possibility of hail development. And look, notice this goes all the way up I-35 and this line stretches into Oklahoma. And Oklahoma is where they actually had some of the worst thunderstorm activity and severe weather and even tornadoes earlier. Now here we are on the south end of that line. It was active over the past 6 hours farther northward. Now it's turning more active between roughly Austin and San Antonio down toward Castroville and Zavala County. Look at that temperature drop. We're down to 66 now. The cold front is through. We were 90 degrees earlier today. Now we're down to 66. Temple 65 along with Dallas. Amarillo at 39. Really in the core of the cold air. So as that front moves, we're going to see all of our temperatures start to fall off. You can see it has just moved through San Antonio International Airport. Some of that's rain-cooled air, I know, but it's also the front. New Braunfels at 79, Kerrville 68, Junction 68, Rock Springs 64. This is where we didn't have any rain. This is not rain-cooled air. That is the front. Front has yet to hit Carrizo Springs at 82 degrees. Also, we look at the wind shift or the wind convergence line. And the wind convergence line, there you have it right here, gusting up to 39 miles per hour at San Antonio International. And right along where these winds come together, that's the front. You also see it in the dew points. Dew points sharply drop off on the cooler side of the cold front. We had a dew point of 70 earlier, just momentarily, just a little bit ago in San Antonio. Now we're down to 61, but Pleasanton still out ahead of the cold front, muggy at dew point of 72. Cotulla, a dewy of 72. Same with New Braunfels. New Braunfels, your humidity is going to plunge quickly and soon. I mean, we're talking within the hour, probably within 30 minutes. Kerrville's already down to 54 with Fredericksburg and even drier air farther west on I-10, Junction, even Rock Springs and Ozona, dew points in the 30s. So that drier air, let's fast forward to 10 o'clock, continues to push through our area. And as we go through the night, we continue to dry out, leaving us with a lack of humidity tomorrow. And I think it's this layer of dry air here near the ground. That's going to prevent us from getting much in terms of rain tomorrow morning. Despite lingering clouds, I think sprinkles will be hard to come by. So tomorrow and Wednesday, you're not going to notice the humidity. Pleasant and comfortable. Thursday and Friday, humidity returns for 2 days. That's it. Just 2 days the humidity's back, and then it's gone from Friday's cold front, gone for the weekend and early next week. So a bit of a yo-yo trend. And also, we have this to look forward to. Behind this cold front that just moved through, Wednesday morning, not tomorrow, but Wednesday morning, we're going to be down to 52 degrees for that morning temperature in San Antonio and 40s in outlying areas. So tomorrow on Election Day, 63 in the morning, 75 for the high temperature. Remember, we went from 90 today and we're going down to 75 tomorrow. That's a pretty big improvement. I know it's not as cool and crisp as some people may want, but it's a big improvement. Low humidity Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll clear out throughout the day tomorrow. Sunny on Wednesday, beautiful 80. Then morning fog and drizzle Thursday, 60% chance of some showers and storms. Friday, a 40% chance, with it, the cold front that moves in on Friday, and that sweeps away the humidity for the weekend. And look at these temperatures this weekend. Mornings in the 50s and afternoons in the 70s, 72 Saturday and 79 on Sunday. Anyway, this is one of our iPads. Okay. There we go. I'm going to leave you with the radar screen. Gonna get caught up on things over here and come back to you in just a sec. All right, everybody, I got to sign off, actually. Marty just came in and informed me that the Monday Night Football game's starting to wind down, and they have to use the control room and the other computers that help control this live appcast to get ready for the night beat, which will be right after the football game, come on, I see the Chiefs celebrating. It's not done yet, so it looks like something just happened. Come on, where's the score? Okay, it's going to come back up on the screen. Do you know the score of the game, Marty? 24-17. Chiefs leading 24-17 with 4 minutes, 17 seconds left in the fourth. A lot of a big light show going out there. I think the hail threat is starting to improve and not be as much of a threat here on the city's far west side between Medina County and 1604. But I got to sign off. We're going to get to other things and get ready for the night beat. Thanks for joining me again. Enjoy this heavy rain. I know the lightning and thunder may spook the kids, the fur babies, the pets and whatnot, but just know that right now, only a small area of potential hail in southwest Bexar County in the far west side, and that's it at the moment. Flash flooding is more of an issue if you have to be out traveling. If you don't have to be out traveling, it's best to stay in, let this heavy rain pass and have all the water drain. I'll see you on the night beat.
Live from KSAT 12, the Night Beat starts right now.
November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country, and together we will make America powerful again.
Are we ready to do this? Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to win?